Storm damage from Ida has astounded officials 3 days after the powerful hurricane pounded southern Louisiana, with President Joe Biden due to survey the destruction by himself on Friday. The governor of Louisiana issued a plea for emergency supplies to assist 1 million homes and businesses without power, as well as 600,000 people without water.
Our people have taken a pretty good lick here from Hurricane Ida. But our people are very resilient and strong as well. Having said that, we need all the help that we can get from the federal government, from the nonprofit sector, from the faith community, and certainly from us at the state level and working with our local partners as well. On the way over here today, we flew over a different part of Jefferson Parish. There's significant damage everywhere. We've got a lot of work to do. I do want to start with a couple of pieces of positive news. One of which is, and I am very careful about what I say, but there are certain ways in which we've been very blessed. As I stand before you today, there are 2 confirmed fatalities. And when you think about the sheer magnitude of utter devastation, the fact that that's where we are is miraculous. Now, it's our job to make sure that we don't lose more people unnecessarily because of carbon monoxide poisoning and accidents and so forth and heat exhaustion. We're blessed because our levees held up. They performed the way that they were supposed to. And that was the Hurricane Risk Reduction System here in the Jefferson and Orleans area, but also other federal and non-federal levees all across southeast Louisiana. A little more good news is that there were some areas that actually started to have power restored today, principally in New Orleans with the feed that came in from New Orleans East. Critically important to show some progress there, and I believe that's going to continue to build over the coming days. And it's going to be wonderful when everybody gets their lights back on.
And Arise correspondent ANIL SENGHERA is monitoring the latest developments on this story, and he joins us now. ANIL, tell us more about the flash flooding in New York.
Well, okay, 4 days after it blasted ashore, one of the strongest hurricanes ever to hit the United States, Storm Ida is continuing to bring death and destruction, heavy rainfall and tornadoes, as you've both been saying, slamming northeast parts of the country. 8 people reported dead, 7 in New York City, 1 in neighboring New Jersey. And the city that never sleeps was kept awake with these incredible flash flooding, severe torrential rainfall for New York. Roads, as we can see, completely and utterly submerged. There's video on social media of a man floating on a lilo between 2 buildings. Subways almost completely shut down and paralyzed, water gushing in, platforms completely and utterly submerged. Central Park, the main park in Manhattan in New York, broke a record for rainfall. It had 8 centimeters of rain in just 1 hour. Flushing Meadows, where the US Open tennis tournament is currently being staged, even with the roof on, that didn't keep the rain out. It was so severe. As you both said, the governors of New York and New Jersey have both declared a state of emergency. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled across the 3 airports in New York. That's LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark. And if you just look at the numbers of the amount of rainfall that fell in New York. New York had 7.1 inches of rain on Wednesday, 180 millimeters. All of that fell in just 1 hour. And this is what happens. We have so much rain in such a short space of time. And what's incredible is that just 10 days ago, the record rainfall was shattered in Central Park. And that was with Storm Henri just 10 days ago. And that had something like 49 millimeters of rain in an hour. So in the space of 10 days, you've had record rainfall in New York. And obviously, because New York is a heavily urban, built-up area, almost no place on earth could really be able to have such a good drainage facility to really withstand this amount of rain. So that is why we're seeing those pretty dramatic, almost biblical style floods in the city of New York.
Biblical style floods, indeed. We're seeing on social media videos of the rodents in the subway looking like they're swimming and having a ball. It's quite incredible, some of the things that we're seeing. Tell us how the rescue efforts are going. And is it really unusual to see such destruction from just one storm?
Well, it's really interesting because obviously we know that Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana on Sunday night as one of the most powerful storms ever to hit the mainland of the United States. And obviously when a storm makes landfall, the winds tend to subside and it loses some of the its tropical characteristics. But what it does, it still carries an enormous amount of rainfall. And if the weather systems are right and the environmental factors are at play, you literally get a perfect storm. And that's what we're having. So we've seen the damage in Louisiana on Sunday night. We heard there from the governor, more than almost a million people still left without power. New Orleans is under a nighttime curfew following that Category 4 storm. And the rain and the storm, or the remnants of the storm, have now moved northeast to New York, New Jersey, and we've seen those tornado warnings in Pennsylvania. So it's clear, all scientists agree, that climate change is making extreme rainfall more likely. We know that the world has already warmed up by more than 1.2 degrees since the industrial era began, and that temperatures will keep rising unless governments around the world make steep cuts to emission. And we're going to see more extreme weather, whether it's wildfires on the other coast of America in California, deadly floods and fires in Europe. And now we're seeing this shocking, incredible amounts of rainfall in the northeast of America.
Yes, very dramatic images, Anil, and we're expecting President Biden to visit Louisiana later. Thank you very much, Anil, for your insight and coverage of that story.